Hello, this is a Yamaha C1 grand piano that's 160 centimeters, 5'3" long. It's just come into stock. It has had one owner and we bought it from him. He has just retired and bought a Bosendorfer grand from us and chose this piano very carefully himself. He was a piano teacher in the Royal Holloway, London, and has just retired, as I say, so he's taken up the Bosendorfer now, which is obviously extremely high quality German piano, but chose this piano very carefully and hasn't used it a lot. He said that he more or less played most of the time at the Royal Holloway, and he was a accompanist as well, so he was not using this piano except at weekends, so that's encouraging for us. So it hasn't had a large amount of use, but chosen carefully, and apparently was fine regulated by Anthony Cook, who used to be a Steinway, the chief Steinway technician. So very encouraging altogether. You can see the casework is pretty much pristine. I can't really find any fault on it. Now the only thing you can see is scratching on the music stand where the music has been put. Obviously we'll try to improve that as much as we can, and slightly on the sides as well, you can see a little bit there. You can also tell it's not had much use by looking at this felt, which is not really worn at all. This is a longer Yamaha G3, which you also have in stock, and you can see more marks on the music stand here and more marks on the side. Now this is a Japanese Yamaha. Later on, they're mostly made in Indonesia or other parts of the Far East. Now I pitch raised the piano today, and the tuning pins are very tight, as you'd expect. It was about 439, just below concert pitch, and raised to 441, which we usually do to allow it to drop back to 440 over a period of time. We don't like the tuning pins being turned too much, so if you leave it slightly sharp, then the next tuning you don't have to do quite so many. Most musicians, in fact I think all musicians, are happy at 442, even 441 certainly. If you want a piano at 440, then please let us know. It'll drop down to that over a period of time anyway. So as you can see, the inside's in perfect condition. They're slightly dusty, we'll obviously be doing that. It's only just arrived. It's got a beautiful clear mellow tone right throughout the range. This is the mid treble area, which you play mostly. And then going up to the top. And the tenor area, which is obviously very important too. And the break point here is extremely well disguised. As we've said before, it's a sign of a very good piano maker. And for the length of the piano, that's as good a bass as you're going to get on an E piano. Now the action's in perfect condition. If you look at the hammers, you can see how much wear it has had. It's been serviced in 2013, so there's a light refacing. You see slightly fluffiness there, and then voicing the hammers, and that's something we're going to look into as well. But it's good for another 30 years as it is. We'll just try and refine it a little bit more, see if we can do some fine voicing, but we're really pleased with it. The hammer height is dropped very slightly, so that's something we'll look into. Just raising the hammers by 2 or 3 millimeters is all it needs really, is give a slightly more refined touch. So we're just trying to make the piano as perfect as possible, obviously. So the main work on the piano is reducing the hammer blow. That'll affect the touch. I think that's something we want to do. 50 is slightly more than it would normally be, and I don't think they would have set it at 50. Different manufacturers normally set them between probably 48 and 44. Sometimes you find a bit less than that. 47 millimeters is the normal. And then lubricate the balance rail and rollers. That's important. I just want to try and show you something there. So the balance rail, if we lift the keys up, they should drop straight down. Now some of them are dropping down, but most of them are stiff. We've mentioned before that what you do is you put talc on the you take the keys off, and we've got the video demonstrating what happens. So basically lubricating the hole at the bottom and the pin, and then they drop down as they would have done when they were new. So lubricating the balance rail makes the key function more smoothly, and you'll see here 60 grams when I first weighted that, and we've lubricated not the balance rail, I haven't taken the keys out yet, but lubricated the roller, and you'll see the difference there, 60 down to 54. It's really because it's overcoming the inertia is the main issue there. So if we look at this bottom key, and we've got 60 grams weight on there, and if we tap it gently underneath, you'll see that it goes down gradually. So I'm calling that 60 grams. So I'm going to lubricate this roller with talc. Now our technical department gently sand it on. I'm using this metal file here, and just get a bit of talc on the end of that, and then just lightly rub it in. And that should be enough, I think. Just make sure we've done it well, because I want to make sure it works on the video for you. And now our 60 gram weight goes down without any persuasion at all, so it's already feeling lighter. So now it's going down with 57 grams, and if we also lubricate, so if we lubricate the balance rail there, now that'll bring it down to about 55-54 grams, which is very acceptable. So let's compare the tone of it with other grand pianos. This is Yamaha G3, 183 centimeters long, made in 1985. And a restored Bluetooth grand piano, 165 centimeters long, made in 1929. And a shorter 150 centimeter Bluetooth grand piano, made in 1933. So that's a Yamaha C1 grand piano, made in Japan 2002, and had one owner before we got the piano, so very pleased to get it into stock, and just small refinements to do. I've tried to show you how refining the touch is so important, and how to go about that, and if the weighting still needs fine weighting, we can obviously put weights in as well, but I think with just lubrication will be enough. So thank you very much for listening. I really recommend the piano. I'm going to just play the piano a bit to give you some idea of the tone of it.